Today I'm bringing you along with me to fly business class with Virgin Atlantic from Miami to London Heathrow. On the way out from London to Miami, we flew premium economy and it was an absolute disaster. Make sure to check out that video. For the way back, we had business class. Before you get on the plane, you do get to use the lounge that's there in Miami. I'll show that at the end of this video because I know some of you guys just want to get straight to the video and get on the plane. Some of you aren't interested in the lounge. But if you do want to see what the lounge is like, it'll be there at the end of the video for you. So give this video a like and leave me a comment if you enjoy it, and let's get straight into it. You do get priority boarding when you're flying business class, but we were in the lounge and we didn't realize it was already time to board, so we kind of missed it and we were quite late getting on. You can see most people have already boarded here in the business cabin. The seating configuration is a 1-2-1 layout and it's all facing forwards. This is a little look at what the window seats look like. They alternate, so one seat a bit closer to the aisle like this one, and the one in front you can see he's a little closer to the window there. We chose the two middle seats so we can be sat next to each other. All the seats on this plane are the same size except for these two at the front, so the two middle seats only on the first row are just so much more spacious. They have loads more leg room. The screens are also way bigger than the rest of the seats. I'm not too sure why they designed it like this, but yeah, just those two middle seats are so much bigger than the rest of the business class seats. Our seats were just these two directly behind it. We just boarded, sitting down now in our seats, and we are in row 2, and these are really nice. They're quite spacious, but row 1 actually in the middle is way more spacious, and we could have had one of those seats, but one was already booked. But I'm traveling with hubby, so we wanted to be sat next to each other. But if you can, try and get a seat in row 1. It is way more spacious. You get a lot more leg room. Here is a closer look at those two seats I mentioned. You can see how much more spacious they are compared to the seats I'm going to show you next, which is where I was sat. We were offered one of those seats, but the other one was already occupied and we wanted to be sat next to each other, so we did decline. You can see the legroom here is a lot less than the two seats in front, although this is a nice amount of legroom, you know, pretty standard for business class flights. Here's a little seat tour. The seat has a seatbelt that straps all the way across your chest. You get a pillow and a duvet already at the seat. Before I forget to mention it, no one was actually sat in that extra spacious seat in front of me, so although one was already occupied, which is why we said no, one of them was actually empty. So if you're flying with Virgin Atlantic, make sure you ask them to see if anyone sat there. It's worth sitting there if you want to. Once you're all settled in your seat, they bring around the welcome drinks. So that is champagne usually and orange juice. It's the same one pretty much every airline I've been on. Then they come around with the pajamas. They have all different sizes and these are only available on overnight flights. I always size up to make sure they're super comfy, and these ones were really comfortable. I'll show you what it looks like when I've got it on later in the video. Let's continue with the seat tour. It has a mirror, as you can see, and in there is a bottle of water. They had an amenity kit which I've already put on the table, and also you've got some headphones. These are to be used with the in-flight entertainment. There is a reading light in case you wanted to do some reading once they've turned all the lights off. Underneath this console you can see some space there, and it's supposed to be a wireless charger for your phone, but it wasn't very good, to be honest. When I tried to charge my phone on there, it did not work for me. Here's some seat control panels to adjust the seat, make it like lay flat. I'll show you that a little bit later. And this is the amenity kit. Again, we'll look at the contents of this in just a second. On this panel there's a hook to hang your coat, or I used it to hang my scarf. It came in very handy, and you also got a screen. It's pretty big for your in-flight entertainment and call for help, things like that. And the duvet is underneath where the footwell is. On this side you have a little armrest and the divider. Time now to take a look at the content of the amenity kit. It's got all your in-flight essentials: toothbrush and toothpaste, hair comb, hand lotion, earplugs, socks, eye mask. I mean, it's not the best amenity kit I've ever seen on a plane. I think Emirates has one of the best that I've experienced because it's Bulgari, it's a lovely brand. Even British Airways does White Company. I think that the Virgin pack is a little bit sad in comparison, and they could probably do a little bit better in terms of their amenity kit. The seats on Virgin are a little bit asymmetric. You can can see here, like the armrest on this side is a lot slimmer than the armrest on my husband's side. That's a lot wider, and you can see it's the same for the seats in front. However, because I have the skinny one and he's got a bigger one, on his other side you can see just a slim piece of armrest, and I have quite a large counter space there. So even though it's asymmetrical, it's quite equal the amount of space you get. They also have some separation, so if you don't know the person that you're sat next to, you can just put the screen up and have some privacy. But if you know each other, you can put it down. The only thing I didn't like is that I only went down halfway. I would have liked it if it went down fully. But this was better than nothing. As mentioned previously, the seat also reclines into a fully flat bed, so you can see it here reclining, and it also does like lots of different mid-recline positions as well if you don't want to be fully reclined flat. There's extra space for your feet to go underneath the TV screen, so yeah, it's pretty spacious and very comfy to sleep in for sure. I was just showing you in this video, so I haven't put the duvet and things on yet, but once you put the duvet on, you know, set up the pillow, you can definitely get comfy here and sleep quite well. I'm not sure on the exact dimensions of this bed when it's laid flat, but I'm pretty tall, I'm 5'8", and I slept in here pretty comfortably. The Inflight entertainment screen is touchscreen, but it does have this controller, which is perfect for when you're laying back, because when you're reclined, the screen is so far away from you, so it's nice to have that controller so you can control the screen from really far away. Another perk was a sliding door, so you could close it and have some privacy, and not every airline has this, and it's only activated after takeoff, but I really like that it's got this. It gives you that extra level of privacy. So that's all the seat features. After we took off, they brought around the first round of drinks, which was champagne and some crisps, and also asked for a wine. And I thought it was quite cute that they did have Virgin Atlantic at the bottom of the glasses. That's such a cute little touch. I never remember to film the bathroom when I do airline reviews, but I finally remembered for this flight, so you're very, very welcome. Honestly, to me, the bathrooms are just the same in business class and economy. I really don't see much of a difference. Sometimes they're ever so slightly bigger, but it's very slight. It really is not much in it. On some airlines, they do have extra toothbrushes, combs, and different amenity bits for you in the bathroom, which I think is nice, but they didn't have it on Virgin. What was cool though is that the bin was pedal operated. I've not seen that on many airlines, so that was quite nice, so you don't have to touch anything. At the back of the business class seating, they have the social area. It's just like a lounge space, and they bring out snacks which are available all throughout the flight, and also there's a mini fridge there with lots of drinks. This space is available to everyone flying business class. You can just come and sit here, enjoy the snacks and the drinks at any point throughout the flight, and it's got big screens and there's usually some sports on, so it's a nice different space. If you're a bit bored by your seat, you can just come and sit here and pass some time, socialize with some people. Moving on now to the in-flight dining, you get an a la carte menu on this flight, and it's 4 courses. You get starters, mains, dessert, and also you can have cheese or like a port if you want. They also do a speedy supper in case you're not interested in eating and you just want to sleep. You can just have a starter and a dessert, and that comes out a lot quicker than having the full 4 courses. The wine list is pretty good. They have a great selection. I still think that British Airways has the best wine list, and for breakfast they have multiple options of things that you can have. You can choose not to be woken up for breakfast if you prefer, or you can tell them that if you're awake they can serve you, or if you're asleep to leave you. So they make it quite flexible. With your dinner choices, you just tell them what you want to eat, but for breakfast you have to fill in this form and check off what you'd like. The tray table comes out of the side armrest like this. I like that the tray table has 2 different sizing options. It can be like half open or fully open, and the half open way gives you a little bit more space around you. So when you've only got like 1 plate and maybe a cup or a few things, it's easier to just have a half open rather than the full thing. While the meal service is going on is a great time to pick a film, and I think that the movie selection is actually quite decent in Virgin Atlantic. It's got some older classic movies and also a great selection of new stuff that's just come out in the cinema. Then the meal service started. For starters, I went for fried shrimp and my husband went for a caprese salad. You get proper metal cutlery and glass cups, and you also get these really cute salt and pepper shakers. For mains, I went for the cod, which came with roast potatoes and asparagus, and my husband went for chicken. It came with mushroom barley, sprouts and squash. For desserts, I went for a sticky toffee pudding and my husband went for a chocolate log. I have to say, all the food was really delicious, but we're actually not very fussy when it comes to food. We'll sort of eat anything, but whatever we had was really, really good. The lights are dimmed all throughout the meal service because some people choose not to eat and they choose to sleep instead. So whenever you're done with your meal, you can go ahead and go to sleep. I'd put on the pajamas at this point. They were so cozy and comfy to sleep in. Then not long before landing, when they start bringing the breakfast around, they do turn the lights on, so that kind of woke me up. And you can see here the pajamas a little bit more clearly. I just put on the pajama top. These come in so handy, especially because the plane is a little bit chilly. Then they brought the breakfast round. We both went for full English. I also went for a pastry on the side and we both got hot drinks. They had coffee, hot chocolate, any hot drink you wanted. And it's nice that they do little pots of sauce to come with it. I know some people like brown sauce and ketchup, so they do offer that if you need it. The full English was so nice, oh my goodness, but I feel like you can't really go wrong with a full English. Like, it always tastes good. And the pastry was just amazing. Oh, it was so delicious. I was not expecting how nice it was. I also went and helped myself to some of the snacks that they had in the back quite a few times. So I ended up having these Bloody Mary crisps and they were so good. You need to try them if they're on your flight. They also brought us some hot sweets to have as a little last treat before we got off. And that was the end of the flight. It was actually very enjoyable compared to our flight out, which was an absolute disaster. The flight back home in business class or upper class as they call it was so good. I definitely recommend. Now I'm bringing you to the lounge, which we had access to before we went into the plane, and it's called the Delta Sky Club. I think it's a Delta lounge that they allow Virgin customers to use, and we couldn't access this until check-in, and check-in literally opened exactly 3 hours before the flight, which is obviously fine, but we were in the airport for ages because our cruise finished in the morning and we had an evening flight. So it would have been nice if they'd allowed us to access this a little bit earlier, but never mind, this is what it looks like when you first walk in. I think that this was quite a big lounge, really decent size, and after you check in, they give you the Wi-Fi, you can access that, and they have bathrooms just near the front right here. The bathrooms are pretty decent and they have water dotted around, loads and loads of seats which all have plugs so you can charge your devices. Here is the bar and buffet area. I'm going to come and show you this a little bit more closely in a second, but first we're going to have a little wander and try and find some seats. It wasn't actually that busy while we were there, but we can definitely see how it can get super busy. This lounge is actually really pretty. I like how they've done the decor. It feels very upscale. And this is a small drinks area. It's separate from the bar and you can get some fruit here and some drinks. Let's have a proper look now at the bar area. The bar is quite interesting because all the drinks are complimentary except a few that aren't. So you need to be careful what you order. For example, if you order a Prosecco, you have to pay. But if you order a sparkling wine, that's included. So yeah, there's a few that you have to pay for and you just need to be careful, like the wedding. Even certain cocktails you have to pay for if it's a certain mixer, but if it's a different mixer, it's included. So yeah, just be a little wary on that. The food choice is pretty good and the food tasted good. It's fully equipped if you've got work to do. There's like printers and stuff like that, so you can get everything done that you need to do. And I like that the screen's dotted around showing sports and lots of different things to keep you entertained. Here's a small sample of the food that we ate. It was very tasty. I was really impressed. And they also had a good selection of sweet bits. That's it for this video. I hope it's helped you out if you're flying upper class with Virgin. Leave me a comment and a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!